This is the Trade Machine Podcast. We're back, baby. And I'm here with the one and only Mr. Butterchunk himself, my little brother.
Nope, that's
Hunter,
not
Julie,
staying. That is not
Stone.
staying.
Hey, I like butter
All
chunk.
of that's gone. No,
It
I don't.
works.
No, it's not
No,
gone.
it doesn't.
You've been Butterchunk.
No.
And with Rich. Rich, what's going on?
Feeling good, but feeling nervous. But I'm good.
Yeah, what's up with this, man? If you would have took bets, Celtics, Lakers, Cavs, and you said two of them, only one of them is going to lose in the first round. I think the Celtics would have the best odds to not be that
I would have
team.
chose the Lakers, to be honest.
I mean, honestly, especially
not be
before the KD, especially with Luka out, before we knew anything about KD, it's like,
yeah.
But and then the Cavs, you can never count them out when it comes to losing a series. They shouldn't. So they almost did it this time, but first round's over. We're looking at the second round. This is one of the craziest first rounds I think we've had in a while. We've had two teams blow 3-1 leads. One of them, the Boston Celtics. The other one, the Orlando Magic. Cue the music. And then
Game 7 in the East.
The Timberwolves just embarrassed the Nuggets without any other players. Their G League team beat the Nuggets.
Shout out Jaden McDaniels. Shout out Io.
Magic didn't even just blow a lead. They went 0 for 23 to end a game on what would have been a closeout game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the story of that series is the Magic weren't that good. Neither are the Pistons, but Cade is just the best player on the court, and he ended up winning them series because he's special.
Right.
I don't know if there's really even much more to say. I mean, the Magic, Jamal Mosley got fired today. I still think you got to keep an eye out for the Magic when it comes to Giannis this summer.
I mean, to be fair to the Magic, they didn't have Franz the whole series, too.
Yeah.
So going up 3-1 was very impressive for the fact they didn't have Franz.
Yeah, and then they had a game where they missed 23 straight shots when they had.
That was ridiculous, bro.
Paolo was 4 for 20.
They had the game in hand at home, and they missed 23 straight shots. What do you do? I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Like, that's just one of the weirdest series ever. Let's get it out of the way, because I don't really want to do this for that long, okay?
You want to take the hat off while you're doing it?
No, I will always love the Celtics. The Boston Celtics blew a 3-1 lead to Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers. I feel like I'm in some weird version of hell, that I've died and God is punishing me. Because not only have the Celtics never lost to the Sixers, they have embarrassed Joel Embiid over and over and over again. And Joel Embiid has now embarrassed. I see Charlie's eyeball. She's Joel Embiid has now embarrassed the Celtics, and I don't know who I am anymore. I'm scared.
That was.
What do you think? What do you think the story of the series is to y'all?
Everyone but Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum was disappointing.
Yeah, I think Jaylen was disappointing.
And
yeah, bro, I was just about to say.
win.
I just think I was expecting, even in it was games like late in Game 6 that JT went out, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting them to kind of revert back to that Celtics team we saw a year where people were arguing for Jaylen Brown to be MVP. So I'm like, yeah, it sucks that JT went out, but now they can kind of go back to playing that brand of basketball they were playing while he was out for a good part of the season. So I'm like, it just didn't seem like, for one, it just seemed like they were tired, and two, it just seemed like their game plan going in was to incorporate JT, and after he went out, they just couldn't get the rhythm, bro, for whatever reason.
I think the most frustrating part about watching the Celtics, it's also the most fun part about watching the Celtics, that they just shoot a billion threes.
Yeah.
And so when they're going in, I mean, they're running away with the games. But when they're not, and they just keep chucking threes,
and they will keep shooting
over and over and over again, it's awful. I can't do it.
Yeah.
And
I think that game plan works as well
completely
anymore.
away. What do you think, Hunter?
I don't think that game plan works as well for the Celtics anymore because you don't have your stretch bigs. Both of them are gone. So a big part of their three-point shooting was they had two centers that could come in the game at any point and make threes. You don't have a center that can do that anymore. So that just kind of
You don't
messes
think
with
Luka
that
Garza is
point.
basic? Luka Garza is not like Porzingis light. Is that what we found out?
He's not on the same
Not right
level
now.
I
of
don't
role
think
player
Vooch
for the
should ever play
playoffs
in
as
the NBA ever again. I think
Al
Vooch needs
Horford
to be
or
done.
Kristaps.
I can't believe how bad at basketball Nikola Vucevic is.
I will
Yeah,
say,
I was expecting way more from him. I will say that.
He got benched for Luka Garza.
Yeah, bro. I just think I don't know, whatever was going on with the Bulls, it seemed like, he would have these spotty games, but then when he got traded to the Celtics, I thought we might kind of have I don't know if we can call it a resurgence because he was never really like a all-star caliber player. Lucha had nights where he would drop like 20 and 11.
He averaged
You
20,
know,
20 a game a couple years
yeah.
ago.
So I was kind of expecting more of that, especially with him not having to be one of the main guys. I don't know. I just felt like it was wide open for him to kind of just do his thing, and he just, I don't know, for whatever reason, they just couldn't get the rhythm, bro.
I think two things changed the series. Obviously, Joel Embiid was special. One of the most dominant performances I've ever seen from him in Game 7. And I would have bet all my money that Joel Embiid would not play that well in a Game 7. And he did. So props to Joel Embiid. He was special. Anytime Ada wasn't on the court. Of course he wanted to win, Hunter. He's wanted to win every single series he's ever been on. He still gets his ass kicked.
No.
Historically.
He was limping. He was limping and diving for balls while limping. That's what I meant by that.
Have you ever watched Joel Embiid? Someone breathes on him and he hits the ground. It's the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah. But he was playing through it this time. And not just playing through it. He was diving for balls while limping down the court.
But here's the thing. He was special. I think the real reason that the Sixers won this series is Paul George specifically, and also Kelly Oubre, were absolute monsters defensively against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They just bullied the mess out of Tatum and Brown. They made everything hard for them. And then Tyrese Maxey was able to play his role. And they fought through switches. They hounded Jaylen Brown. They made Jaylen Brown dribble the ball. That's always been the way to beat Jaylen Brown, is to press him. And I really think that the Sixers have a shot at winning the East. And I hate that I'm saying it. But if Paul George plays this well, Tyrese Maxey, he's a top 10, 12 player. And Embiid if he's Embiid, which I never thought we'd see Embiid again, but he was special. He was dominant. Maybe as good as I've ever seen him in the playoffs. I think this team, yes, the Celtics blew a 3-1 lead. I was on record that I would have rather they sat Jason Tatum because the worst thing that could have happened is he goes out there and gets injured again. I would rather just lost Game 7 without Tatum. But then for them to come back from like a 15-plus point deficit twice just to not make any shots in the last 3 minutes, why did they make me do it? I wish they could have just stayed down and I could have turned the game off. But they made me watch the whole damn thing and get my hopes up and made me think maybe Tatum can come back and they can make the finals. I don't know. I'm curious if they do blow it up. I don't think they will. The question is, and I just want to put this out there, I think there's a world. Jaylen Brown's from Atlanta. Atlanta has the Pelicans pick. AJ DeBonsa is from
I knew it was coming, bro.
He found a way to get his team back.
I was waiting for it.
I know I've been joking about DeBonsa to the Celtics all year long. But there's
you stopped
there.
Halfway through the year.
There's something there. And I just want to keep note.
But hear me out.
It's not impossible.
The Giannis rumors.
If we're gonna do this one, there's another guy from that area.
No, but Cooper Flagg's not coming. He's not going to sign. The thing with Cooper Flagg is it'll be in about 5 or 6 years. It'll be after he signs his first max contract and he gets to actually hit the free market. Tatum will be what? He'll be in his mid-30s. Jalen will probably be somewhere else. Cooper's going to come and sign that Supermax. Okay, Hunter, we got to chill. I'm
You know a little too much about him.
I mean, he was the rookie of the year. I'm sure he gets at least a little bit of play.
A little bit.
I mean, come on. Anyway, He loves the Celtics. So I would just book it in about 5 or 6 years. It's going to be Cooper Flag, AJ DeMonta, Jason Tatum. That will be the Celtics.
Anyone else you want to add to that
That.
list? It's,
No, just them. Just them. I'm
My
not greedy.
that can happen as long as we get Jokic. So
Yeah, we'll see. But I just do want to say, I think there might be a. I don't think they're going to blow it up because they were never supposed to win this year. Jalen had a great year, but he just came back to earth in the playoffs. Like Jalen's a
yeah,
great player. He's not a top 5 level player like Jason Tatum is. He just isn't. I love Jalen.
and it just
I think he's a top 12 player. I don't think he's that guy though.
that's what it just showed though, bro. And that's what when we were talking at the beginning of the season, or really mid-season, I think we were doing our awards or something, but we were talking about Victor Wembanyama, and I said that I just need to see it in the playoffs, and that's exactly the same thing with Jaylen Brown. Like while they had their finals run, and we saw that version of Jaylen Brown, that was alongside Jason Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
When he's out, and then Jaylen Brown becomes the focal point of the defense, at least right now in this series, he just couldn't overcome that and find another way to impact the game. So
Yeah.
it's hard being that guy, bro.
Now I will say, you know who else nobody thought was a 1 anymore? And just won a playoff series as the number 1 option on a team after everybody had counted it out. LeBron James. Rich, talk to me about the Lakers series. What was the experience like? Did you think they were going to blow the 3-0 lead? Because it was kind of looking dicey for a second.
I was just telling Hunter when I joined in here, like they scared me for a little bit, and I thought we were about to make some history in the wrong way. It was interesting, bro. I think those first couple games, when we came out and Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard were hooping, I'm like,
I hate Marcus Smart having moments with the Lakers. That actually
I
breaks my
love
heart.
it, bro. I love it. I just thanks for him, by the way. But that gave me a little bit of life for the rest of this run, however long it is, in those first couple games. And then when we started when Sengun started hooping and we couldn't really find a rhythm, Luke Kennard wasn't knocking down shots. Marcus Smart was turning the ball over, and he wasn't really in that mode anymore. It kind of gave me kind of put me back to like, okay, we need Luka back. But I'll never count out LeBron, even though I had my doubts when we first came into the series, because I felt like he was a lot like when Luka's playing, he's really passive. When Austin Reeves is there, he's a little more passive. I just didn't know if he still not necessarily had the skill because it's LeBron James, but if he had that passion still to want to go out there and which you have to play this long. But this is what I think they said like his 293rd playoff game or something. He had like 295 total or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was I was just worried, bro, and I did think we were about to blow that lead just because DeAndre Ayton or Jackson Hayes cannot guard Sengun. It was clear, like it was just he was cooking them. I know DeAndre Ayton. Well, first off, let me shout out DeAndre Ayton because he had an amazing game. I think we lost that game though, but he had like it was a 15 rebound, 19 points game.
Played better than I
or
would have
something.
ever expected from him when he signed with the Lakers.
But still, even still, he it's just something about DeAndre Ayton that just it's not there completely for me to want him
Dominating
here
doesn't
long
do it for
term.
you.
It really doesn't, bro, because he just has moments. You can have a good game, bro. I understand that, but you also have to keep your composure um,
He's not the
those
answer long.
closing in those closing parts of the game. He just doesn't. You can see him looking around a lot, and people. It's back to when he was in Phoenix and he was just watching people get rebounds. This was in the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. He still does that, and I don't. It's just part of who he is, bro. And shout out to him for having a big game and all, but I'm like,
Sounds
dog.
like you're asking him if he wants a cookie.
No, I mean, for real though, because you talking about what made me the most upset is when he made that comment about they trying to turn me into Clint Capella. So I'm like, okay, well, show us that you're more than that, bro. And I mean, you can base that
Capella
off
was
one
out
game.
playing him at that point.
And I'm saying like you have to earn what you're asking for. We're not just like we as in the NBA community is not just going to give you a title of a great player just because you think you're a great player. You haven't done anything to show that. And
I still think the
just
Lakers would be better if they had Clint Capella.
I honestly do too because he can fall into the role. DeAndre Ayton wants to be the guy. He wants to be the guy. You can see it like
That's the whole point I'm
In his
making.
whole career.
yeah, and that's kind of to a detriment of the team because you have to buy in. These championship teams are all because guys are buying in. You got a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein who came from the Knicks and was I won't say he's the guy, but he had a bigger role on the Knicks than he did on the Thunder. But when he bought into the system and he just played his role, that's the type of players as Shaq calls them, the others that give you the boost to the superstars that get you over the hump, that get you your ring. And I just don't know that he's completely bought in. But with that being said, it was good to see Austin Reeves come back. I don't have any hopes for this next round, but I think we're gonna get to that. But Hunter, you can go ahead with your
We really
score.
need to talk about it though. I mean,
No, no, we
it's
don't.
nothing against the Lakers. It's just the Thunder, and then Luka's not even running yet.
And to be honest, bro, I don't want him to come back. I
I
don't want
wouldn't
him
either.
to. It's the same thing you were saying with JT. I don't want him to come back. I want him to have this whole offseason to heal up and be ready for next year because I feel like he's going to rush back to a series where we're getting smacked anyway. Because I don't think, regardless of how they were feeling, I think losing actually brings out more of like you start feeling those injuries a little more back when in the regular season um, when we got smacked by 40. Like that's the same team we're playing, and this is going to be a better version of it. And I don't know that we're a better version of ourselves right now, even in the playoffs, even with LeBron James playing at the level that he's playing at, because of how good OKC is. And I'm not. This is my squad, bro. Like I want to see us do well, but being real about it, like we're not ready for a run. It could be something special. Like Luke Kennard could, if he could do that, what he did in those first couple games every night. If Marcus Morris could do that every night, and we can find a way to get stops and make OKC, hop off their square and go outside of themselves, then it can happen. But it hasn't, and OKC has shown that they're not changing for anybody, regardless of what the landscape of the game is. So that's just where we're at. History. The only way to tell about the future is looking at history, and history tells me that same thing is going to keep happening because the same thing keeps happening. So
That's kind of deep. I think
same.
if I learned about after Game 5, the Celtics were up 3-1. When they lost Game 5 at home, I wasn't completely out on them with the series. I didn't think I'm a fan, so I was immediately terrified that they were going to lose the series. Hunter, you got to stop smiling, bro. It's pissing me off.
The amount of
Okay,
joy in Hunter's eyes right now.
and this
It's
is why I
usually
was
the
rooting for the
opposite with
Raptors. I'm
playoffs,
not even
though.
going to
I
hold
mean,
you. I was rooting for the Raptors. I wanted the Raptors to
all
win.
season since the trade deadline, you went the East is no one but the Celtics.
Okay, you know what? I'll take that. But here's the point.
I don't have
After the
that much
Celtics lost
confidence.
Game
That's what you're going
5,
for.
after the Celtics lost Game 5 at home, for me it was like the only team that has a remote shot against the Thunder is the Spurs. I just
I
don't.
agree.
I don't. I think the Thunder are just going to walk through anyone else. And if Wemby's healthy, maybe the Spurs got a shot because Wemby's that special and they've got all those young guys. Carter Bryant looks good too. Little rookie leap in the playoffs for him would be fun.
I will
But
push back a little bit, just a
who do you
little
think?
bit on that. But as long as everybody's healthy, I I would. I'm not saying I bet on it, but I would love to see the Minnesota Timberwolves against OKC.
Yeah.
Um,
I think for me it was more of an Ant thing.
yeah,
Which they're saying he might play game 1.
yeah. I mean, I hope he's good to go because I thought he just blew up everything in that knee the way he fell.
That game starts in 30 minutes. We'll see. Um,
I just want to see Jaden McDaniels be that guy all the time because we can have great games, bro. Like that's why I was just talking about DeAndre Ayton. I'll let you finish, bro. But you have to be that guy every single night to win. You can't just have that one good game, and that's what I want to see from. That's what would have to happen if when you're playing a team like OKC, when you're playing against the Spurs, even who they're about to play, you have to be that guy every night. It can't just be a
I think
one-off
that's
kind
the
of
point
thing.
I'm making is in order for a team to beat OKC, they have to have the best series they've had.
Yeah,
And it feels like OKC just has to be OKC.
yeah,
And every other team has to be the best version of themselves, where OKC kind of doesn't. That's the thing that is, I mean, I just can't. We'll talk about it in a second. I have one question for you, Hunter. And I just want to say that one of the stats that's been going around is that LeBron James has more playoff wins than the entire Bulls franchise. When you hear that stat, what do you think?
LeBron's just better than Jordan.
That is a fun one. When if you want to have the LeBron Jordan debate, and
He's got more wins than his franchise. Which,
your take is like playoff performance, and you can say, well, LeBron has more playoff wins than the entire Bulls franchise.
to be fair, we could do the same with James Harden too for most teams.
Yeah, you're right, but man, that's a fun one.
Jordan had a few series though, like where they were. You only had to win 3 games to advance. Little numbers a little bit skewed, but
I think this summer let's do a little LeBron Jordan debate. Just Hunter and Rich go at it.
I'd love to.
I think it'd be
Because
fun.
Kobe's my guy, bro. But only reason I grew up liking Kobe because of how much my dad liked Jordan. So that was like Mike is just Mike is really to me the GOAT because Kobe was really just like and Kobe admitted it, like he just was following his game. That's not what we're talking about though. Go ahead.
Okay, Hunter, I want to talk about the Cavs series. And so I just gave Rich the floor to talk about the Lakers. I want you to just decompress because about 24 hours ago,
I was preparing for a rebuild.
no, you were preparing for a rebuild. You said after tonight, the Cavs are going to trade all of their best players and they won't be in the playoffs again for 5 years. That's what you said. Before Game 7, they had already lost in your mind and they were rebuilding. So I would like to hear, how do you feel now after the series? Because they've got the Pistons now. So I want to hear a little bit about the Raptors, and then I want to hear what you think is their chances are against the Pistons.
Somehow the Raptors completely stopped James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, and it was the whole series Evan Mobley and Jared Allen for that.
Can we not be shocked about a team playing stopping James Harden in the playoffs?
It was the combination. James Harden played decent the whole time. There was never a really, really bad game from him. But the combination of both players not being able to do much, them being able to stop both of them at the same time is what was impressive.
At the same damn time.
I do think that's the difference for the Pistons, though.
Yeah, tell me. So the Raptors series was close. We were talking a little bit about this. I actually think they're a better matchup for the Pistons than they are for the Raptors.
There's no one to hunt out on defense for the Raptors, whereas playing the Pistons, you can easily go to Duncan Robinson. Try and get him on defense.
And on offense, there's
just soft double K'd every single time, and you got to force other guys to do stuff.
No one guards Asar Thompson. That's the whole. You don't. If you make Asar shoot on defense, and then on offense, you target Duncan Robinson. It is
or Tobias Harris with your bigs too. It's just a better matchup. Out of the options, it's just a better matchup
for sure. If I'm
obviously the Pistons are the better team, but for a matchup reason for the Cavs,
are they the
Raptors are harder? I think they're the better team
than the Pistons. Oh, I thought you were saying obviously the Pistons are the better team than the Cavs.
No, I was saying. I think I would. I've been very down on the Pistons all year compared to everyone else.
Yeah, I think the Cavs Raptors series one. I think it was neither of those teams. It felt like the Cavs didn't really care that much for most of the series. Like they underestimated.
They'll just be walking around.
Yeah, it was defense, lazy play, which is concerning. And the Raptors
you can't have that this series.
No, you can't do that against the Pistons because the Pistons. One thing.
Go ahead.
The thing about the Pistons is not. We keep. This is beautiful podcasting. The thing with the Pistons are, they are going to bully you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even necessarily a talent thing. If you don't try, they're going to put you in the trash can.
The Raptors
And
did the
not
same
only
thing though,
that,
which is kind of
But
part of the
yeah,
reason
I
it was
think
a tied series.
that's the whole thing.
That
Is
was
the Pistons are going to
that's
do it
why
a
it was a
lot
tied
better.
series.
Pistons are going to do it better.
They're a
And
more
they have the
complete
best
team.
player in the series in a way that the Raptors didn't. Arguably, you could make a Scotty argument. I think Donovan Mitchell's better than Scotty, but
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell.
During the
I don't think he
series,
gets enough
Scotty Barnes
respect.
was the best player, but
yeah, but
I
I
don't
mean, Cade Cunningham is
obviously.
special. And Rich, you're going to say something about Cade.
Well, I'm just saying, like Cade's going to be Cade. But you see, like you just said, Hunter, how the Raptors were able to shut down Donovan Mitchell and James Harden at the same time. Now imagine that, and then getting better guard play from the point guard on the opposite team. And the Raptors played really well, but I'm saying, like you just said, Cade is just special. It's a different. He doesn't have, and he's not flashy about it. That's the thing. Like he's not gonna blow you out the water with a lot of stuff. But if you really watch basketball like we do, and you really like can just watch, you really just know the kind of nuances of what he's doing to create space and how he gets to the rim and how he's able to facilitate. They're gonna pick you apart, and you cannot have Donovan Mitchell has to be at his best because K's going to be at his best every night, every single night. I know I keep saying that, but that's what it takes to win. You have to be that guy every night, and Cade is that every night. Even if he's not scoring 40, he's still going to impact the game in ways that don't necessarily pop up on the stat sheet.
But he is scoring 40.
But he is scoring 40 right now, so so that's the issue. But I love Donovan Mitchell,
like
though, is my thing.
Yeah.
This series is less of what can Cade do, and it's more of how can we stop everyone else. Because Cade's going to do pretty much whatever he wants when you guard him.
And
You got to
you
focus
can
on
go
stopping
into
everyone
that.
else.
Yeah, you can go into that and let Cade be Cade, which is because you have Donovan Mitchell. Is my point. Like you can do that, and Donovan Mitchell can be a better player than Cade Cunningham. For me, it's like there's not one that's way better than the other.
There's only two other guys on their team that I think you have to step up a ton when they're shooting threes, and it's Duncan Robinson and Tobias Harris. No one else
Yeah.
scares me on the perimeter.
Cavs should win the series, in my opinion. One, because I'm just not high on the Pistons. I'm really high on Cade Cunningham, and I like what the Pistons are doing when it comes to roster building standpoint, but they don't have a playoff roster.
Yeah.
Like Jalen Duren,
They just
we
need
saw
one
in the
more-
first round, he's just not a second guy.
That was
They
a
need one more guy who
big
can
issue.
run an offense.
And if he had a hard time with the Magic, now he's got to play Jared Allen and Evan Mobley.
Yeah,
Like, he's going to have a bad.
because that's not.
He's going to be in it offensively.
It's not like if he was just down a couple points a game, and he was still producing, it'd be different. But he was averaging 19 during the regular season. He's down to like under 10 points a game.
He was lost.
So, like, bro, you took away, like, your team needs that, and that's what. Luckily, Cade is who he is, and he was able to kind of carry the load. But if you're not being that guy that you were during the regular season, who your team is counting on you to be, who the game plan is for you to be, I think a team like the Cavs, who have the bigs to take advantage of what you're not doing, that's good. That's also part of what it's going to take for the Pistons to do well during this series. I mean, I'm rooting for the Cavs because, like I said, I think I'm a bigger Donovan Mitchell fan than I am Cade Cunningham. I love what the Pistons have done in just a few years, but you got two guys that I really love in Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, who I want to see do well, and I want to see if it can't be the Lakers, I want to see those two guys get their first ring together.
Yeah, if I can't have it, I want it for Hunter. We'll be a Cavs podcast for the rest of the playoffs. I like that. Here's what I want to say. Oh yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But here's what I'll say. This is the best shot the Cavs have had at an Eastern Conference Finals appearance, and we're about to see what they're made of. And I'm really interested to see. James Harden just won a Game 7 in a tight series. I wonder if that's going to give him a little bit more freedom. Like, he's got through it.
He was pretty good, too.
Yeah, he was scared to shoot. And that air ball from the wing in the fourth quarter, they were up enough to where it didn't matter. But that was some James Harden playoff stuff.
Yeah.
What a sentence.
That was it. It's weird. He had some very key steals in the game, which is not what you expect from him.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited. I want to just throw this out here. So Masai Ujiri just signed as a president of basketball operations for the Dallas Mavericks. Hunter, who's Masai Ujiri's last team?
I know this. It's the Raptors, but
Yes, it was the Toronto Raptors. I know you know. I'm just trying to involve you in the process. The Raptors are one really good offensive scoring and playmaking guard away from being a real contender. Would you agree?
that are one big away because
They
their
need a
center
big
situation
two,
wasn't
but
great.
you can.
Dynamic game changer. Yeah.
I think that the league has proven you can get a Neemias Queta easier than you can get a guard that really makes a difference.
Yeah, but those
For
first
cheap.
2 games, Pirtle was
I
unplayable
just
for
want to
them.
throw this out there. The Dallas Mavericks have a really good point guard who's a veteran.
I was just talking about this, bro.
And there's a world where the Mavericks could hop up in the lottery and maybe have a Darren Peterson chance. Or there's also a pretty easy way to get an Emmanuel Quickly and some picks trade for Kyrie Irving in a way that makes sense
There's
for
another
both
player I would
teams.
consider trading for them.
Yeah, but I think Emmanuel Quickly is the one that makes sense for the Mavericks. You're talking about Brandon Ingram?
Yeah, this series kind of exposed that he's not the best option.
You're not that guy. I'm
He's
just
shot like
saying
30% overall.
I would just keep an eye on it. If I'm the Mavericks, I'd like to keep Kyrie because I actually think our team could be good next year. Because Cooper Flag's that good. We've got a good roster. We're going to have a good pick. And now you've got an actual like good GM who's going to be able to make some moves. One that's won a finals and also was a
Not
big part
trade
in building
Cooper
the.
Flag.
Okay, no. To the Lakers for Rui Hachimura and a second round pick. No,
No,
but
take Jared Vanderbilt. I want to keep Rui. I didn't even talk about him, bro. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. I'm
Look,
sorry.
he's had a key role this year. He stopped Luka from a ton of technicals.
Nah, let him get the text, bro. Get him off the team. I don't want him. I don't want him.
that's how Vando, man. You know, he was real tight with Malik Beasley. They got traded with each other a couple times. I wonder if maybe we could hop him in on this gambling scandal.
I think
You
you
could
just
get him
throw
out that
someone
way.
in on that.
I
I'll
heard
do
he was
some
involved.
research.
Maybe something with him, Damon Jones, Malik Beasley. I don't know. But I would just keep an eye on Kyrie to the Raptors because I think it makes sense for the Mavericks. Emmanuel Quickly is a good player, and they could maybe get some picks back. And Kyrie would be the perfect player next to Scotty Barnes. And that Raptors bench mob is so good. Colin Murray Boyles, Jamal Shed. Battle was
Jamal
crazy.
Shed was. I didn't know who he was, and then third game in, they bring him in for the first time, and I don't think he missed during the entire series.
Talking about Battle?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really like the Raptors. Pirtle is disappointing. I thought he was going to be really good for them, and he has been in the past, but it just seems
Colin
like
Murray
it's over
Boyles
for
was
him.
very good.
You know, I had Kyrie. I didn't actually run it through any like systems or anything, but I was watching the games the other day, and I thought that Kyrie would be a really good fit on the Sixers. Just at this point in his career, I would just like to see it because I think
Kyrie Tyrese Maxey, a little two-headed monster in the backcourt.
yeah, you got the veteran presence of Kyrie and Paul George. Well, Paul George hasn't won a championship, but if he hadn't broken his leg that year, I think they would have been able to get Bron and him around for their money.
My only problem with that one is they would be really small.
You'd have to figure out how to make the deal, but it would be fun to see those guys play together. I think those are the big series we really wanted to talk about. I just want to go quick fire through the next couple series. The last one is the Timberwolves just punked the Nuggets without their best players. And so what's up, girl? And so I think if Anthony Edwards comes back, Spurs Timberwolves is my favorite second round series. There's a chance for a lot of real fireworks. So let's just do a quick rapid fire. And I want to ask Richard one question before we do this. Would you like to apologize to Rudy Gobert?
I do, bro. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up. Dog. Okay. Now, like I said before, history, only way to tell the future is by looking at history.
That's beautiful.
And I was thinking the same thing was going to happen because the same thing kept happening. This version of Rudy Gobert, though, was
Yes.
something I have never seen him do. So I will
Not the one,
definitely. We said what?
not the one that Luca was hunting out on defense in the conference
Exactly,
finals.
and that was like that's what I was expecting to get from Rudy, and this was just like this was a different. He was just in a different mindset. I don't know if he was getting some juice, knowing that he's going to play the other Frenchman next series, and he wants to prove who's the best French guy. I don't know, but he was hooping, bro, and it was just. I actually watched an interview of Anthony Edwards talking about how he was coaching up Rudy, basically telling him how to defend Jokic and all that stuff, and I think whatever it was, it just got Rudy in a different mindset. So I apologize, Rudy Gobert. I didn't know. I didn't know you had this in your game, bro. But I'm glad to see it. I'm very happy
In
to see
that,
it.
in Game 6, Rudy Gobert's in the paint, and he reaches around the defender and hits basically a no-look pass to the corner. At that point, I knew that um, it was over for the Nuggets. If Rudy Gobert's doing that kind of stuff, it's just
Yeah,
over. And I
it's a
think there is
confidence
this thing
thing.
about the confidence that they just beat the Nuggets every year. I think this is the third year in a row they've beat the Nuggets in the playoffs.
Yeah,
They
and
just own
last
the
year
Nuggets.
it was even to me it was even worse because you had it was just stuff happening with the refs, bro. Like Anthony Edwards got a tech for staring at Jamal Murray, and then Jamal Murray's on the ground after an and one. He's doing finger guns to Anthony Edwards. He doesn't get teed up. So that series that just gave him a lot of like juice to go. They went 7, and I think Timberwolves just had it all packed up or all backed up, like just that energy of like just kind of fuck this team. And then this year, coming into this year, either one of the teams are healthy, and then it just kind of showed how the Nuggets weren't ready for them to not be healthy, if that makes
No.
sense.
And Jokic just hasn't been the same since he got hurt this year. Like
Yeah,
he's good, but he's not the best player in the world right now, and he has been for years. And I think he's officially been dethroned.
I think the Nuggets might be a surprising team to make a pretty big move because of this series.
I mean, they
Because
just
it
got
wasn't just
punked
they
they
in
have to,
five.
lost; it
bro.
was the most disappointing loss possible. The Timberwolves have no one in game 5
Aaron
against they still
Shannon
lose.
Jr.
Game 6, yeah,
put him in a
Bucket,
blender. I love
yeah.
Terrence Shannon Jr. There
bucket.
was a game last season where the T Wolves had this like 20 plus point comeback against the Thunder, and Terrence Shannon Jr. was one of the guys. And I thought that he was going to have a big leap this year. He just kind of got buried on the depth chart. For him to have that kind of game in the playoffs, I really think he's going to be an important part of their team going forward. This is his second year. I think we're going to see a third year leap from him. Maybe I was a year too early on it, but he
MIP
reminds.
next year.
I think it might be because defensively he's so athletic, and then offensively his ability to get to the cup. I not, he's not as good as the guy I'm about to say, but he reminds me a lot of the Thompson twins,
Yeah,
where he's able to
with better
get to the
offense.
basket, and then defensively he's just a menace, and he's so athletic. I think he could have that kind of role for the Timberwolves next year, which they really need. But just shout out the Timberwolves. They lost Nikhil Alexander Walker. And not only was he their best guard, their best point guard, he also won the most improved player award on his new team. Averaged 20
Yeah,
something a game. They lost him. Dante DiVincenzo tears his Achilles. In the same game, your best player, Anthony Edwards, hyperextends his knee. Um, and you go out and you beat the Nuggets, who everyone thought were better than they were last year when you beat them. Everybody thought the Timberwolves got worse and the Nuggets got better, and they punked the Nuggets. And
yeah.
just there's just something. I think there's something about it. And Rudy was awesome, and I'm really excited to see him against the Spurs because there's the whole French centers thing, which will be fun, and the young guards. It's going to be a scrappy series. I think it's going to be fun. But let's
Also,
just round this out. Go ahead, Hunter.
Ant's off the injury report.
Yeah,
When I
he's going to
looked,
play.
he's
The
he's
game's
playing.
starting as we speak. He's going to play, which is crazy because they said it was weeks. So I'm
All
a little
right.
concerned. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. But um, do any of y'all have anyone other than the Thunder getting out of the West?
I'm hopeful, bro. Like I said, without Luca, I really don't see it like even coming close. But
Yeah,
we are talking about LeBron James, and
it's the king.
yes, he's 41. Yes, he's got everything's against him. He doesn't have the best team behind him. But when you talk
Game
about
winner too,
impact,
though.
yeah, when you talk about impact that a guy can have in a game, because I'll go back to the Rocket series real quick because there was a moment, and it's been a meme ever since. But there's a moment where he was at the free throw line, and Sengun, I guess you might have said like that was a soft ass call, and Sengun's their best player at this point without KD. So he's talking to Sengun, kind of getting in his head. He was like, basically, like Sengun was like, that was a soft ass call. He's like, you should just say that was a soft ass call. He was like, you can't say that. Anybody but you. Anybody on this court can say that but you, because Sengun gets his off too. And I think that was just more of a power move to a mental part of the game that I think is very underrated that we don't necessarily see when we're watching the game because we don't hear them talking. We don't hear what they're saying to each other. And not to say that the Thunder don't have that because they have their best player, Shea, who is just as great mentally as anybody we've ever seen in the league. But I think that's what gives us our chances, the fact that we're able to think the game. We have players like Marcus Smart who can kind of, in certain situations, he could throw people off their game. So I'm still hopeful. Um, I would I would go Minnesota though, or the Spurs. Whoever wins that series. I mean, obviously, I think either one of those teams could compete with OKC.
I think so too.
Um, but
They
they
got
gotta get to us first.
KC, but
So
they all gotta. Hunter, you still got Thunder Cavs?
I don't know what I got for the East. I think any of the four teams could win. We went to Game 7 with the Raptors.
I was just trying to tee it up for you. I think it's going to be Thunder Knicks. I think it's going to be Thunder Knicks, and I think
you
the
like
Thunder
the
are going to
Knicks?
win in 5.
Cavs
It's
are
going
the
to be Thunder
team
in
where I
5.
could see anything happening with them. That's just
Yeah,
how it
I
felt the whole
almost.
time.
I think my biggest fear with the Cavs is they have another crazy series, and they end up going to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then they just try and run it back. And they don't try and get better at all because they made it to the
Yeah.
Eastern Conference Finals finally.
I mean, they're going to have to do something because they're the most expensive team in the league right now.
Yeah, maybe they shed salary.
I don't.
I've had a couple guys that I've kind of said just take note. Little trade predictions. We'll do more of this towards the off season. I do want the Rockets are going to be interesting this off season because they are going to have to make the decision. Do we double down on the win now mentality after trading for KD last year? We're going to get Fred VanVleet back. Do we try and do something to get a little bit better to really contend? Or do they say, or are they sick of the KD thing after how crazy
Yeah.
this was? And I wouldn't be shocked if we had some kind of. This is going to sound crazy, and like my Nuggets fan friends are going to hate this. I would just be on the lookout for a Jamal Murray Kevin Durant trade.
Mm.
The report.
Like that.
There was a report today about the Rockets that James Harden and his team reached out to go to the Rockets, and they said no.
Yeah, they said no. They said no. Yeah,
Which
this was.
I would have said no too.
Yeah, this has happened a
their
couple
whole
times.
problem is they don't have a point guard.
Yeah, but if James Harden goes to the Rockets, he thinks it's his team again.
Exactly. That's exactly my point.
It's Houston.
I don't know
You
if that's
can't do
true
that.
though.
Yes, it is. It's James Harden and it's Houston.
The last 5 years of his career, he hasn't played like any of the teams are his team though. That's my point.
Yeah, but this is Houston.
It's kind of.
Is it
It's
more
kind
of
of
that,
like.
or is it maybe the relationship between him and KD is just completely ruined after Brooklyn?
I mean, that definitely doesn't help, but I just feel like it'd be a lot of what we saw when Paul George first got to the Sixers, or when they first, the big three kind of played together, and Maxey was obviously the guy, but it was that one game where Paul George wanted to take the last shot and he missed it. And I feel like that shot should have been for Tyrese Maxey. I just think that just goes on all season or that whole tenure with James Harden and KD. And it's a lot of who's the guy, like I want to be the guy, no, I'm the guy kind of stuff going on. Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. I think the Knicks are up by 23 at the half right now. We'll see how that game ends. But they're just playing really well. They just beat the Hawks by 1,000,000. I think it's going to be a crazy offseason because all these teams are falling apart in the first round, second round.
After the first 3 games of round 1,
a real chance.
It looked like they were maybe the favorite for an upset after they were down 2-1.
Yeah. Who knows? we'll see. We'll be back in a little bit. We got the lottery coming up. I don't know exactly when. I think it's in the next week or two. And that, we'll probably hop on after that, do a little update about the playoffs. Who knows? I got a baby coming. We'll see if I'm going to be hopping on anywhere.
Boy, about to be a daddy. Yeah.
Uncle Butter Chunk.
No.
Yeah, buddy.
No.
Let's get it. This is the Trade Machine Podcast. Charlie, say bye-bye.
Say bye, Charlie. Pretty girl.
Deuces. Good stuff.